All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are back live again. I apologize for the long absence. I was really hoping to be live yesterday, but being as getting late home as I was, I didn't want to risk not getting good quality guests for yesterday. But we've got a hell of a show planned for you guys today because we are going to debate who is Manchester United's greatest ever goalkeeper. And that's a hell of a debate to make because we've got three choices, and I'm going to go down the line to introduce them for who they will be representing. So first off, we've got the one and only Craig Perota, who will be representing Peter Schmeichel. Craig, how you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm very good. Very excited for this debate.
And honestly, you can make a genuine debate for every single one of them. Awesome.
Can I say, let's just say this, tell everyone that you've given me Peter Schmeichel. I've not asked for him. I've not said I want De Gea or Van der Sar. You've given me him. So
yes.
I've got to back his corner.
Yes.
And so all three of them are my favourite keepers. And this is going to be hard.
That's what she said.
Hey,
yes, of course.
Less of that.
Yes. So next up, we've got the man representing Edwin van der Sar. That would be the one and only Mr. Exclusive. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, mate. How are you doing?
Well, I've got the U23 International Cup match on in the background, so we'll see how I'm going to be doing here in just a little bit. But yeah, otherwise good, man. Otherwise good. And then last, but definitely not least, it is the man representing David De Gea, the man that we all love at the moment, Matthew McFadden. Matthew, how you doing, bro?
Just to get this clear, I opted to vote for Lee Grant, but apparently he's not a conversation.
Listen, unfortunately, you have to make a start, and he hasn't made a start yet. So we couldn't throw him in the conversation. Don't get me wrong, 100%, 100 rated keeper confirmed. It's confirmed, but you have to make a start. I'm sorry.
I'm stuck with the hair. It's shocking.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had to give you the lesser of the three choices, right? I mean, geez. But so, guys, this is how this is going to work. And I did give my guests a heads up about how we were going to do this. So we are going to give everybody in order from our oldest keeper, Schmeichel, to our newest keeper, De Gea, who all three of them you can make a genuine argument for. They're going to have between 5 and 10 minutes to make an argument for why their keeper is the greatest goalkeeper in Manchester United history. From there, we will allow each of our other two guests to make a counter to that, 2 to 3 minutes, and then allow other person to respond in 2 to 3 minutes. And we will move on down the line from there. So at the end of this, what we will do is we will take your votes and on top of putting a poll on Twitter and see who people think is Manchester United's greatest ever goalkeeper. So let's go ahead and let's get this started with Craig Perota, who again is representing Peter Schmeichel. Craig, make your argument.
He's won the treble.
You're just done. You're done.
I'll win it. I won it. No, if I'm honest, for me, he has played with the most complete squad that I could say to date, if you know what I mean. He's played with 4 amazing strikers in front of him. He's played with some of the best defenders Manchester United have had. He's played with the best midfielders we've ever had. So therefore makes his work a lot easier. Like the likes of your Jaap Stam, your Ronnie Johnsons, your all right, we take the piss. Your John O'Shea's, your Wes Browns. Who else can I say? He's played with your Ryan Giggs. He's played with your Paul Scholes, your Roy Keanes, your Andy Coles, your Dwight Yorks, your David Beckham. He's done everything, you know. This is just coming off the top of my head. I've not researched nothing. But I think out of the three that we have, he is the one that I would pick as a captain because he was very vocal to his back four. Very vocal. He wasn't afraid to throw a few fucks in here and there to his centre backs to let them know what they've done wrong if the other team have scored. And I hate the silence. I hate this. Why can't anyone else put their thing? I hate this. I hate this.
Well, it's a good chance to just be able to make your full argument. I mean, you could talk about anything from what he did during his career, like you mentioned, like the captaincy, you know?
Yeah, the captaincy, but then I didn't like it that he went City.
Yeah.
You know, that didn't last long anyway. I think he went Aston Villa. Did he go Aston Villa?
Now that I don't remember, but you know,
I think he did.
I think he might
Did he go Villa? I think he went Villa.
It was something like Villa, Sporting, and then Man City.
Yeah. I didn't like the fact that he went City. You know, a lot of people would be like, "Oh, he's the same category as Tevez and stuff like that." But he's our number one. He's my favourite keeper, but I can't say he's the best keeper that we've ever had because I think we have better now.
Oh man, you're ruining your own argument.
I can't sit here and say De Gea's doing different things, man. But this is what happens when you've got to argue with yourself at the moment.
you're just like, you're just making your argument. Like it's all you don't have to convince me that you're wrong. Like that's up to Matthew and Mr. Exclusive to do.
Don't need to. He's doing it himself.
I love De Gea, yeah, and De Gea is at the moment is proving himself to be the best keeper in the world. And back then, he made himself the best keeper in the world because he played with the best team in the world. Because we won the treble.
Well,
yeah.
What I'll also say about Schmeichel too. I mean, like, not that I'm trying to jump in on your argument here, but you go back through and you look at what he did during his tenure at Manchester United. You could actually go through and you can make very similar arguments to De Gea and Schmeichel for the way that they would make saves because Schmeichel was a big commanding presence and literally was able to make outstanding saves. It's like if goals were going in on him, it's because there was nothing that could be done.
Yeah, and you look back at the team that he played for back then, you know, you had a lot of leading guys. You know, you had obviously Peter Schmeichel, you had Gary Neville, you had Roy Keane, you had Cantona. You know, he played with Podolski, he played with Konchelskis, you know, he played with some fantastic players. I think he's played, and then obviously we got Ronaldo, Van Nistelrooy, and so forth with the other two keepers. But for me, that was the best set of players that has ever played for Manchester United. Well, and I don't think anyone can argue that. Like you had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer there, played with him, Teddy Sheringham, Dwight York, Andy Cole. They were the best four strikers I think that we had for a long time. You know, Mark Hughes played with Mark Hughes, played with Brian McClare. the list goes on for the 10 years that he had at Manchester United.
Well, and like George Kyle just said, Schmeichel was the best keeper in the world. He won the Euros with Denmark. It's not just about our team only.
Yeah. Oh, did he? Well, there you go then. You know, the geezer is, and he was a driving force as a keeper. He was a driving force for Manchester United because I bet the strikers could hear his voice. There's no doubt about it. You know.
And he scored goals, too.
Yeah. I think he scored 3 goals, did he? 3 or 4 goals for Manchester United.
If I remember correctly, it's 10 over the course of his career and then 1 in the Premier League. Correct, Matthew?
Yeah, it's 1 Premier League goal.
I
don't know the exact numbers for his whole career.
And so I don't know exact numbers for his whole career. I just know he actually did score a decent amount of goals for a goalkeeper.
And he played with Beckham, which is another, a milestone for me. Just every player that he played for was just amazing. And he's won a treble. That's another thing. Like I've said it before, he's won the treble. Like if De Gea turns around and wins a treble, then who knows? But we are. We're
on the way, brother. We're on the way to winning the treble right now. Right now. No. All right. So Craig,
we're not.
Listen. Listen, it's irrelevant. You're being ignorant. You're being ignorant. No. So, but guys, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to ask Mr. Exclusive. Do you have some rebuttals inside of there for why you think Schmeichel would not be the greatest keeper?
Because he's a traitor. Because he went to Manchester City. Does not matter if the guy was going to the end of his career or not. Like, you don't pay for the enemy. Like, that's kind of like a dividing thing on a lot of fans. You know, if you're a diehard Red and you don't want to see, like, your legends go to another club, like, he's in the same brackets in the sense as Dennis Law. Because at the end of the day, Dennis Law relegated us for Man City, so that's a dividing point. Like, he can still be a legend, but, he's not going to be a polished legend like others.
But he's established he is a legend at Manchester United.
Oh, he definitely. I'm not going to argue he's not a legend, but I'm not saying that he's a perfect legend. See, mine's more perfect legend.
What, Van der Sar?
Yeah, definitely.
He didn't ever go on to go play, for Manchester City. That is a good point.
Yeah, but he won everything at Manchester United. He gave everything. It was the last bit of his career. It weren't like Tevez, which was 27. I'm going to play for City. It was the end of his career. Man City was nothing special. I don't think he ever won anything at City. I don't even think he made double figures in playing for City.
Might not have done, but he still played for Manchester City. Still a rival, man.
Yeah, but still a rival. But back then, it weren't Man United.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't this sort of Man City. It wasn't.
Nah, it was Man
Sean
United.
Goater style. It's like Sean Goater and all that.
Yeah, Sean Goater. It was like Sean Goater, Darren Huckabee. Hey,
Huckabee was a shit back in the day.
Wait, you know what? I'll rate Darren Huckabee, mate.
I did. I didn't think he was all right back in the day.
For Norwich, though. Only when he played for Norwich, not City.
Exactly. Damn right.
Okay, so Matthew, do you have any additional arguments for why Schmeichel should not be the greatest ever keeper?
Is this my turn for the hair? Or
no. This is just for why you think that Schmeichel should not be the greatest.
You just got to give me shit now, Matthew. Okay. Give me shit.
I'll let you drop you, and we'll see what happens from there.
Okay, fair enough. So I actually do think that we did produce a decent enough counter argument there. The fact that he did go on to go play for a direct rival. Yes, they are not the Manchester City of today, but they are still a rival. There's no denying that.
Yeah, they're a rival, but
I think he only done it because he started his house in Manchester.
Yeah. But then at the same time, like, it was coming to the end. I think it was just like a backup keeper. Yeah, they had no one. Man City weren't winning anything, were they, back then? when they had him. I think, if I can recall, I think he went on and then come off injured on one game.
I could imagine so. He was getting injury prone at the end of his career, wasn't he?
Exactly. So I can let that go that he played for City. A lot of people can't.
I can.
I'm not calling you that you can't. I'm not calling you narrow-minded. But
to be fair, I've got to stick up for Van der Sar. This is what I've got to do. It's like trying to degrade on your own uncle or something. You love him, but the principle is it's hard. Like, how can you
Van der Sar was another different kettle of fish for United. Do you know what I mean? Different kettle of fish. He's another one who won the Champions League with us.
Yep.
So, but
goes on to my argument.
But.
Well, and I actually do. I like what Nigel said here, and said, well, and about Law, he didn't specifically get us relegated. It was a poor decision by the board not to replace the amazing player that had left. Also, a season is longer than one game, which is true. It is true that a season is longer than one game, but he did ultimately wind up getting us relegated in that season. Scored
the final nail in a coffin, didn't he?
Yeah.
But vis-a-vis doesn't make a difference. We could have suspended it better, but that's the past. This is the present.
I'll take it. This is what United do, innit? Not replace people.
Yeah, Ronaldo.
Yeah. All right, so we are going to move on. We are now going to go to Mr. Exclusive, who is about to make his argument for why Edwin van der Sar should be Manchester United's greatest ever goalkeeper.
Right. Here we go.
He's written it down.
I have. I definitely have.
I know.
I had to, man. A little bit of research. What's worse is I probably could have done it in a better it's all scattered, so hopefully I can read my own writing. So this is how it goes.
A spider diagram.
Pretty much, sort of. So, Edwin van der Sar, just in the Premier League, has had 313 appearances, in which he's had 132 clean sheets, 166 wins, 76 losses, and 71 draws. He's had 359 saves, 78 of them punches, 175 catches, 899 throwouts, 1,205 goal kicks, 11 yellow cards. He's had one assist. It's not a goal, but he's had an assist. He's had 3,064 passes. He has a pass per match rating of 9.76, and he's got a accurate long ball, which I do not know what that meant, but 710 of them in his passes. So that's a little bit of stats for you. Now, we brought him in because we had Mark Bosnich fail, Massimo Taibi fail, Van der Gaal fail, Fabian Barthez fail.
Van der Gaal didn't fail. Van der Gaal was number 2, and it was always our number 2. He was never our number 1.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for sorting that out. Okay, Tim Howard and Roy Cow. Okay, so that's enough goalkeepers we had to go through to find someone to replace, obviously, Peter Schmeichel.
You leave him alone.
I'm not. I'm just saying. Just saying. So he's won. Van der Sar has won 4 Premier Leagues: 06, 07, 07, 08, 08, 09, and obviously 2010 to 11. So he done back-to-back Premier Leagues. So he might not have done a treble with Manchester United, but he held the number 1 spot for 3 years in a row. In the time before he came to Manchester United, he was already very highly decorated as a goalkeeper, which also comes into sides with how good of a quality he was. Now, Peter Schmeichel wasn't in that bracket before he came to this club. We made him what he is. He went to Fulham after Juventus for a £9 million investment, and then we got him on the cheap at about 3-point-something million. He had 1 Golden Glove while at Old Trafford. He's had 4 Community Shields. He had a Champions League, and he had a FIFA Club World Cup. Now, there's probably plenty of arguments against Van der Sar, but when you have to take the helm of a prestigious club like Old Trafford, Manchester United, and go in after, okay, some may not be failures, But other keepers that have not done the business and stayed the number one. I remember Van der Gaal put the ball in the back of the net quite badly to drop him from the number 2 spot. But the principle is that he took the helm. He done back-to-backs. He got a Champions League. He's played with people like Carlos Tevez, the Snake, Ronaldo, and Rooney. They were meant to be one of the triple threat of the Premier League of that era. He also played with Paul Scholes. He also played with greats as well. You know, he played with Yat Stam. He played with. I think about everything else he's played with without mixing them up. I know Roy Keane left the club that year. The late Liam Milner.
Where did he play with Yat Stam?
That's right. There you go. I might have got it wrong. See, that's what I mean. I was. Like I said, I might have looked through them all. I might have looked through the stats, but I didn't get all the bits that I might have should have done.
Just saying.
Not perfect. Hey, I'm not perfect. I'm not as perfect like Van der Sar is.
I'm not perfect like Schmeichel is.
Oh, sugar. But all I can say is, in his time as a goalkeeper, he managed 34 different silverwares, and he played for clubs like Ajax, Juventus, and ourselves, where obviously he's gone on to great things. He now obviously is, I think, maybe director of football at Ajax, so he has still got knowledge of the game. He's still out and about, and I think because of that, you know, that should mean that he should get the number 1 spot as United's outright best keeper.
How many years did he spend at Man United again? 5.
Yeah. He was old, man. He was old. Come on, man. He was 36 when he came to us. What do you expect him to do? Be in his coffin trying to dive the ball? He moved from Juventus at age 28 to Fulham.
Yeah.
So and he done 2 years at Fulham, 3 years at Fulham. So that, and then he done 5 years at us. He was 40 by the time he ended his career. Maybe if we got him before Fulham's time, yeah. And I think
that was Sir Alex Ferguson's main regret, that we didn't get him from before he went Juventus, and that was one of Sir Alex Ferguson's
pet hates.
The word? No, that was one of his mistakes that he's done, and he said about it as well, that he didn't sign him sooner, because we obviously had this big gap between Schmeichel and Van der Sar, where we had Kuzak, Ben Foster, Massimo Taibbi, Mark Bosnich, Taibbi. We have had all these players, and then Van der Sar comes along and stays there for 5 years. And don't get me wrong, he smashed it at Manchester United. Absolutely smashed it.
You're damn right.
And he. But he ain't a legend, man.
He is a legend. He is a definite legend.
You can't be a legend in 5 years,
Premier
mate.
Leagues. No, back-to-back Premier League. Listen, I'll be the new DT. I do not care.
It's actually George Kyle did say it was 6 seasons that he was at Manchester United.
There you go.
Still don't make him a legend.
It does.
Still don't make him a legend.
But so, another thing. So, I mean, Jay Hart did say, Van der Sar did come to Manchester United in his 30s and still managed to break records and become a Manchester United legend during that time. How many players can say that?
But
exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Jay Hart.
But then that's the difference between having your opinions on Schmeichel and your opinions on Van der Sar. Van der Sar was an established keeper. Schmeichel wasn't, like he said. Obviously, Manchester United made Schmeichel the player that he is.
But then City broke him.
But then you look at this, your centre-backs that you had back when Van der Sar was playing, they were the 2 of the best centre-backs Manchester United have ever had in Vidic and Ferdinand.
You know that.
They still did have
Vidic. That's who I meant, Vidic. Why did I say Yap Stam? I meant Vidic. damn.
and at the same time, though, I mean, he did have Jaap Stam. Like he had Jaap Stam, he had Gary Neville. I mean,
Who?
he played Schmeichel.
Pete Schmeichel. Yeah. But then you look at the players that we've had as well. We had Dennis Irwin, awesome. We had Gary Neville. He played with Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister. You know, I think them two are on par being centre backs with Vidic and Ferdinand. Gary Pallister and Steve Bruce, they're two units.
They were.
They were
hard
units.
Men.
Hard men. And not only you had, you know, Peter Schmeichel, who was 6'2",
with hands like shovels.
And then you had Pallister and Steve Bruce were 6 foot plus. You know, both teams were awesome, and then obviously we got the team now.
Well, and, what I will say is, I mean, you did the one argument that I think that Mr. Exclusive could talk about even more is the fact that no other keeper for Manchester United in the Premier League era has won back-to-back Premier Leagues. No other keeper did that.
No.
That's a hard argument to deny that somebody did make quality happen.
But
then, he won doubles. He won doubles. Yeah. He might not have won a treble, but he won doubles with them.
But then you look at your starting lineup for when Van der Sar was there, right? You had Rooney at his prime. You had Ronaldo, I don't care what anyone says, at his prime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You had...
in the early years of his prime, too.
Yeah. And then look at... You had Park Ji-sung, which was... He was a workhorse. Brought in... who else? Who was it? We had Carlos Tevez on standby. Mm-hmm. You know, Louis Saha.
Snake.
Saha.
Didn't he get to play with Van Nistelrooy as well?
Yeah, Van Nistelrooy. Henrik Larsson. For the 3 months, it was awesome.
I like Larsson. Larsson was awesome.
If you don't like Henrik Larsson, you're mad. You know, you're mad. But it's hard because both teams were awesome. When Schmeichel was at his prime, the team was awesome. And when Van der Sar was still in his prime at 33, 34, the team was sick. Do you know what I mean? We had Gary Neville. We had Patrice Evra. We had Vidic. We had Ferdinand. We had Raphael.
Yeah, I mean, during Van der Sar, Raphael would have been playing.
Yeah. You know, and then you get your Paul Scholes who come back, didn't he? Or no, he played.
Yeah,
Paul Scholes came back during De Gea's time.
Yeah, that was it. He played and then left and then come back in De Gea's time. You know, so both teams, they were the best teams I think ever played for Manchester United. You know, look at your front three were sick, weren't they?
And real quick, I did want to say, because this is a fantastic comment from Jim Shady. He said, how did Sir Alex Ferguson fit Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez, Berbatov, and Nani all into one team?
Because he's a legend.
Fantastic comment. And all of them played, all of them were happy too. That's
good
the other
rotation.
Like
good
that
rotation. Good man management.
And you was playing under the best manager in the world. So therefore you don't mind sitting on the bench. Mm-hmm. You're going to play.
Here's an interesting stat for you. So Jay Hart said Van der Sar, because his personal favorite is Van der Sar, and he said Van der Sar still holds the record of most minutes without conceding a goal at 1,311 minutes.
Yeah. I remember
retired at Old Trafford.
I remember that season. I remember when we signed Michael Carrick. And we won the league that year when we signed Michael Carrick. And Van der Sar went on, I think he the most clean sheets in the season, it was like 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 1-0, 4. I was like, where's this keeper been all my life? Like, he is an amazing keeper. And now we've got another amazing keeper
Which I mean, Matthew, do you have any further counters before we move on to you?
No, might as well just move on to me.
Okay, so real quick, I did want to say real quick another quality comment from James. He said, let's not forget, if Van der Sar sells us De Ligt, who I'll also say if he sells us him, and he will always be our number one. Forever,
right.
always. Because he is the director of football for Ajax at the moment. So, but Matthew, the floor is yours. Why is David De Gea our greatest ever goalkeeper for Manchester United?
Yeah.
Tell us.
You done?
Yes.
Right. Let's have a look at the title of this video. Who is Manchester United's greatest ever keeper? Not who's the greatest keeper who has at one point in their career played for Man United, so Van der Sar can be taken out of the equation. And you can also take out the fact that Peter Schmeichel played for Man City once, because quite frankly that doesn't matter when we're talking about what they've achieved with Manchester United. And quite frankly as well, you can shove your other players in your team up your arse, because Peter Schmeichel and I've forgotten, and Van der Sar have played with much better teams. They've had a much better back four. Who does David De Gea have? Smalling, Jones, Victor Lindelof, Ashley Young, Antonio Valencia. And
They're killer. What are you about?
What are you saying about Lindelof, man?
Okay.
They're killer.
Leave my Iceman alone.
Jones is a legend.
I have Jaap Stam over.
Exactly.
Okay, you can deny that. So when it comes to David De Gea, he was signed as Van der Sar's replacement when he was 20 years old in 2011, I think.
Yeah.
And he's not even in his prime yet. We're talking about the achievements with the other keepers, and they, had those achievements in their 30s when they were in their prime. David De Gea is still 28 years old, which for like an outfield player is sort of like 24, 25. You're probably just going into your prime now. In David De Gea's Premier League career so far, he's made about 320 appearances or something like that. 7 errors leading to goals, which is just less than one a season. And let's not forget how bad he was in the first season.
Terrible.
And you could probably say about 4 or 5 of those errors would probably come in that season. And we talk about the managers as well. Both of them had Sir Alex Ferguson. He's had David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, and Jose Mourinho. 3, managers who just didn't fit Man United whatsoever. And the fact that he's managed to stay at the club and pull off worldly performances every few weeks, it seems like, just shows that, what other keepers like him. We can go into about, the other keepers as well. Peter Schmeichel is 6'6", and Van der Sar is about 6'5". David De Gea is about 6'3". He's got that height disadvantage, yet he pulls off those saves that you just don't expect whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like in that game against Arsenal, he broke the record for most amount of saves in a Premier League game in history. It was either in history or that season, which, to be fair, when judging a keeper alone, is more helpful than saying, oh yeah, he won the Champions League, because the whole team was good.
Yeah.
Then we can also go on about the fact that Schmeichel was a leader. Van der Sar probably was as well.
Mm-hmm.
But David De Gea has to kind of organise that back four. So clean sheets stats are incredibly misleading when it comes to that.
I can see where you're coming from.
Quite good, but we shouldn't completely judge that.
You are in a totally different.
Those kind of saves that you just don't expect whatsoever.
And the other thing, I mean, like, I have never seen a goalkeeper be able to use his feet for saves quite like David De Gea does. I have never seen a keeper do with his feet what David De Gea does, saving the ball.
Yeah. Like, wait. I think it comes down to football evolving. Like, back in the Schmeichels, the Seaman days, your David James back in Liverpool days, they were 3 big keepers, and obviously you can see the evolution from now. We have Pickford, we have De Gea, we have Alisson. They're not big keepers, but they're very
wiry.
Yeah, they're very and don't get me wrong, you're right there, Matthew, about our back four is an absolute shambles compared to the Van der Sar era and the Schmeichel era. So
can't argue that.
So therefore, De Gea has to be that guy, that leader, and he has to do them shots because otherwise, if he don't save them, we're losing. Because I'm not even arguing with you on that aspect because
we can't.
We can't. Without De Gea doing what he's doing now, we'd be in shit street.
Without a paddle.
That is it. And let's see. That's it.
So Marcus said back in the 50s when I used to play, there was no such thing as goalie gloves.
Good man.
Marcus,
and the balls were
old. Come on now. You're younger than Goldie. Come on. But Matthew, is there anything that you want to bring up? You still got a little bit of time to make your argument because I feel like you've potentially made the best argument to this point. But
on Craig's point about the modern keeper evolving, he's having to save with different parts of his body, pass out from the back as well. All right, so by that logic, De Gea is the best keeper in the world right now. Therefore, he's more adaptable than the previous keepers.
Yeah, because I can't really see Van der Sar being that energetic and that flexible to use. I don't know.
I think he might have been when he was at Ajax, when he was the same age as.
We're not talking about Ajax.
I know,
we're talking about Manchester United.
You put De Gea at like 5 more years. He might not be as agile. He might not be as good as Van der Sar was at his age. So that's all I'm saying. Like, don't be putting my Van der Sar down.
I'm gonna tell my mum.
That's tell me dad.
But in all honesty, I mean, the argument for Van der Sar too is the fact that I'm willing to bet that he won probably more trophies than any other keeper at Manchester United. I'd be willing to bet that.
100%. I wouldn't even bet that because I know that he won trophies at Ajax. He won trophies at Ajax. He won trophies at Juventus. He played with Zidane at the Juventus.
Played with some top players.
David Trezeguet, probably Edgar Davids. Nedved.
Nedved, yeah.
Mouth-watering talent there, mate.
So he tested that. He was like getting shot at training by them. He was being shot at by the best. So clearly, when he came to United, like the guy was a seasoned veteran. So that's why you need to be voting for Van der Sar now. Seasoned veteran, retired at Old Trafford.
So now I do have to ask: does anybody have counter arguments for why De Gea, to this point, should not be Manchester United's greatest ever keeper?
I have a point to make. I don't know if it'll be against him. Probably isn't going to be against him. But the only 3 times Sir Alex Ferguson ever missed, a match, was when his son's wedding. I think it was his illness of his wife and going scouting De Gea.
That's a lot.
And that's saying something like.
I don't need to make any points.
No, you really don't. You really don't. It's like I'll fight my argument, but I know where my heart lies.
Right, I'll put you both in a situation here. You're up against Arsenal. Game last season where we won 3-1, and you're getting absolutely peppered with shots. Who's in next? Van der Sar, De Gea, or Schmeichel?
The way that I look at that is, if you put De Gea in the situations of Schmeichel and Van der Sar, we'd be in good strength. If you put Van der Sar or Schmeichel in this era now with the type, I think they'd get peppered, to be fair. So,
like I said, that's evolution of the goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm. Evolution of football in itself.
Yeah, not only do the goalkeepers have to use their hands now, they have to use
a mouth, feet, skills, everything.
Ball skills have to be on point. Look at Pickford with his ball skills. Look at
Edison.
Alisson with his. Look at Edison as well. Yeah. Look at them. Like their distributions these days.
A lot of keepers nowadays are ex-outfield players that can't get a position in the outfield, so they become a keeper because they've got a chance to actually get a wage.
So all three of them keepers are amazing.
So, just so you guys know, because I see a couple people making arguments against De Gea right now because of the way that he plays in European competition for Spain. This is an argument about this is a Manchester United's greatest ever goalkeeper. It's not is David De Gea the greatest ever keeper?
Is Van der Sar the Dutch keeper of their all time? Do you know what I mean?
Probably not.
Is Peter Schmeichel the number one Danish keeper? Probably so.
Probably, yeah.
Right. But no, it's club level, and I can't put at this moment of time my favourite, but they're all my favourite keepers because I remember from them all, if you know what I mean. Like, I remember great games from Schmeichel. I remember great games from Van der Sar. And now we're watching fantastic games from De Gea, week in, week out, and if I could, I'd thank them all three of them for what they're doing, for what they've done for Manchester United and what they're doing for Manchester United now.
Oh, I would gladly shake every single one of their hands and say thank you so much for everything that you've done.
Million percent.
Like, what I will say, because like people are still talking about the fact that De Gea isn't doing it for Spain. Like, listen, end of the day, I mean, De Gea just literally, if for a goalkeeper, is just coming into his prime. Let's see how he does at the next World Cup. Let's see if he bottles it at the next World Cup.
But I don't care if he does.
He wasn't making a lot of saves because a lot of the shots that were on him were unsavable. I mean, like there was maybe, I think, one error in the World Cup by him that led to a goal.
And people scrutinizing for that.
Yeah.
People like to see De Gea foul because at the moment he's the best keeper in the world. That's it. You're always going to get hate. Every keeper, Van der Sar got hate, Schmeichel got hate because they were the best keepers in the world at one stage in their career.
I like, so George is like, you're supposed to be neutral judge, not De Gea FC. Listen, I'm just talking.
To be fair, you are De Gea FC.
I'm also talking about specifically, like, if we're talking about international duty, we do have to realize that, this is his first World Cup. Like, I'm not going to, like, obviously we've seen what Schmeichel and Van der Sar did for longer periods of time. Like, we're just now starting to see what De Gea can do on international duty. And this also isn't the old school Spain teams that we're thinking about either. It isn't. It's not like Spain have the same level of talent that they had back in the day.
They've lost a lot of their players, for retirement. Iniesta, Xavi,
That's 70% of fucking Real Madrid and
Carlos
Puyol. He was a beast, him.
Do you know what I mean? Like, them great players are gone now. Them playmakers, and they're putting them in there. They're putting, Koki. They're putting who else? They've got Isco. They got Morata, who
couldn't score in the brothel.
No. To be fair, on Spain, I think he's quite good for Spain, but he won't get picked because he's not having a good.
Say that.
So, I got an idea here because it can add to the whole debate of who is, Manchester United's greatest ever keeper. We could do this. And this is a good opportunity for you guys that are watching right now to also get involved as well. So I'm going to go down the line. I'm going to ask you guys these questions about who you think is best at what. So I'm going to start off, first of all, with something that is kind of an intangible. In terms of leadership, who do you think was best at leadership during their tenure at Manchester United?
Pete Schmeichel.
Schmeichel has this.
I mean, Mr. Squizzy,
Pete Schmeichel, hands down.
Yeah, I'd say Schmeichel as well.
I mean, and honestly, I don't
argue with that.
I don't disagree either because I mean, I I genuinely think that the leader aspect of a goalkeeper is something that is slightly underrated. And De Gea has been having to do that for the most part for the defense, but Schmeichel did it best. There was
He did it before the action.
Yeah.
He did it before the action.
1-0 down.
He'd be shouting out.
1-0 down. He would shout out. He would
go over there.
Move
the
up.
Best,
move
the
up.
best way. Yeah, the best way to save a ball is getting your defense to stop it. That's what he used to say.
So basically everybody's agreeing except for Ryan, who said Lee Grant. Fair. It's a fair argument. Fair.
There is always one.
There's always one. Yeah, I haven't seen anybody else say anything but Schmeichel. I did see one person say Roy Keane, but we're talking about goalkeepers here. So next up, this is another, you could probably make an argument of an intangible, but it's also not. In terms of the footballing brain, the brain of a goalkeeper, who would you say is best at having the brain of a goalkeeper?
Like Dave, case closed.
Van der Sar.
Peter Schmeichel.
I like how. But funny enough, at the moment, I would actually probably say it's Van der Sar. And here's the reason why.
Yeah.
He did do it across top leagues all throughout the world. And he did come to United at the end of his career, and he had already built up this phenomenal brain for football. And he just
knew where to be. He knew where to be at the right time.
If that is the case, then go on.
He never overstretched. He never went out. Like even that save against Chelsea in the Champions League final, when he dived, he just looked like he just floated. He didn't overstretch. He just got it. Like that's the whole point of Van der Sar, man.
The best footballing brain, I would say, would be De Gea.
Okay. Listen,
because he puts himself in so many positions, and he's done it for the last couple of seasons where you're like, how did he do that?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
that game against Tottenham, for example, people are saying,
exactly,
was right at him. Yeah, but yeah, in the right position to do that. And every other,
and if he weren't there, it would have gone in.
So, real quick, I'll let's see what we got here. George Kyle said Schmeichel again. Vandy Candy said Van der Sar.
Yeah, go on, Candy.
Doug said Schmeichel, hands down.
Boo, Doug. Boo.
Tom said Van der Sar for brains. Michael Hubbard, Van der Sar. Wolverine 97, Van der Sar. J Hart, Van der Sar.
Go on.
Jim Shady said Van der Sar or John O'Shea.
Well, yeah, he did do well and get the goal, didn't he?
And then he did, and then J Hart did say, "Look at where Van der Sar is now. He's the CEO of Ajax." So of course,
exactly, football brains.
That's a decent argument. Ryan Beals said Schmeichel.
Because hopefully what he might do is he might sell us De Ligt, sell us De Jong, and then come to United. I know I do. So what? Leave me alone. I'm allowed to dream. A boy's allowed to dream.
And then he comes to us as our new
director of football. Exactly, clever business. Makes more money. Brings in talent. The talent before he goes. Clever man. Van der Sar, watch him.
He won't be watching.
He will be. Watch this. Watch his space.
This is the next one is an interesting one because I don't think that you could I don't think De Gea is in this argument for this one. Distribution.
It's Peter Schmeichel all day long.
Yeah, I'd say Peter Schmeichel as well for that.
Everyone who's watching, Peter Schmeichel all day long.
And I would agree with distribution that Peter Schmeichel was the best at distribution, without a question, hands down. I mean, we all saw what he could do. Like it's pretty easy on that one. Like he distributed the ball better than I think any goalkeeper has ever in the history of Manchester United. And basically everybody's echoing it. Like literally everybody's echoing it. And George Kyle said throws of a god. Yeah, obviously. Okay, so this next one I actually think is going to be interesting. So saves with hands, because I think we actually now have to separate that.
I would say Schmeichel again, because he has done some. Go away. He's done some. He's just done some amazing. You look at some of them, like some of them are going top corner, but he uses his right arm to reach over, and some of them, Schmeichel. I'm not even saying anything else. Schmeichel,
359 saves, 359 saves. That's all I'm saying. Done the
Mr.
stats.
Statman.
I'm not taking. I'm not.
I mean, Matthew, do you think there's an argument for De Gea for saves with hands?
Schmeichel had hands the size of small planets. That's like chucking a stone at Romelu Lukaku and being impressed that you actually hit him. He's massive. David De Gea, let's not forget, is smaller in terms of height and stature than all three. And the fact that he pulls off those worldies of saves, jumping about 6 foot into the air in the last minute.
But he uses more of his feet, though. He uses more of his feet. That guy would back heel it if he could.
So I actually can't pick a winner in this one, because I actually think that all three of them were great with their hands. But I think that all three of them, you can make an argument for being the best with their hands in terms of being able to block shots. I mean, and De Gea, you're starting to see it now. Early on in his career, sometimes when he would save with his hands, he would push it into the line of fire back again. You're specifically in this match against Tottenham, you really saw that he is learning how to make better saves with his hands and direct shots away. Yeah, like basically making it so nobody else were able to make a shot off of it. So I think you can make an argument for all three. This is actually kind of split between Schmeichel and Van der Sar. So Jim Shady, Schmeichel, George Kyle, Schmeichel. Vince Russo said Van der Sar. Doug said Schmeichel from the top save. That save from Ferdinand at Newcastle was absolutely top class. Wolverine said Van der Sar. Stupid computer. Vandy Candy said Van der Sar. Let's see here. What a save from George Ian Wright's face. Football Crusoe said Rapid Vienna save was epic from Big Peter. De Gea has more kick saves, which that's fair to Ryan. Let's see here. Anybody else? Jay Hart said De Gea does Pilates and yoga. That's why he can stretch so much. It's probably true. And then Ryan Beals did say Jay Hart said Van der Sar. And Vince Russo said De Gea makes loads of hand saves when it's going corners, which that is true. That is true.
It'd be hard to use his feet in the top corner, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he could.
Probably would.
Nothing's not impossible with that guy.
Vince Russo I can see him doing it.
Vince Russo said De Gea does DDP yoga. Yes, definitely true. So next up, I think nobody can make this argument. Saves with feet, because it is a new part of the game.
Yeah, De Gea.
It's De Gea. Like Matt doesn't say anything. It's De Gea.
No, it's not.
we give you that one. It's all right.
So last but not least, I've got to ask this: overall goalkeeping. It just as a whole, being able to make all the saves, be able to be putting yourselves in the position, who would you rate as the number one goalkeeper?
It's hard to say that.
Well, actually, that's a good one. So Jay Hart said, "How about reflexes?" Reflex is a good one. Is a good one to ask. And you could probably say athleticism, reflex / athleticism.
It's got to be athleticism. It's got to be Van der Gaal. Van
der Sar?
Yeah.
Him. That one.
No, De Gea for reflexes. And It's gone. I've totally been.
Craig's lost. So, Mr. Exclusive, reflexes / athleticism.
It's hard to say because you're looking at it as like Van der Sar came at us really late. So, like, for his age, he was very athletic. He was very, like, you know, he moved like a fox in the net, you know, like, I don't know if that's even anything that to do with nets, but you know what I mean? Like, the guy moved really silky, like, and
he moved like a humpback whale.
Mate, that save against Chelsea, man. He won us the Champions League with saving, bam. That it's just beautiful. But I can't. It's hard, man. It's hard not to say De Gea. It's hard not to. Like,
I'd say for athleticism.
Yeah, that one.
I'd say De Gea. But then for the other one, I'd say Schmeichel.
For reflexes?
Yes.
So, I mean, Matthew, is it De Gea for reflexes / athleticism?
I'd say for athleticism, De Gea. Reflexes, would you put that in the same sort of category as reactions? Just like pure reactions is?
Well, because I think that athleticism really comes into play when you're talking about reflexes. That's the reason why I'm personally putting them together, because athleticism is your ability to just make a quick reaction.
All right, then. In that case, rank each keeper top 3 then, in athleticism and reflexes, because De Gea top for athleticism. Then it would be, I don't know who's second or third, but reflexes now would probably be second.
Okay, that's fair.
Then you sort of consider both of them, Gabriel levels out at top.
I think you're gonna have to go to the crowd to let us know, the audience, because it's going to be like a split decision between me and Craig right now. I'm going to say Van der Sar. He's going to say Schmeichel.
Personally, I would say that in terms of the athleticism, reflexes of it, I would probably go with De Gea, because De Gea really does make some of the quickest reactions of anybody that I've seen. Like,
he has to.
Don't get me wrong, he's not necessarily
back for shit.
And actually, I found another category, and then we'll go to the last one. But let's see here. De Gea, I've got a lot of De Geas. We've got De Gea from Michael Hubbard, Vandy Candy, Ryan Beals. George Kyle said Schmeichel. Jay Hart said De Gea hands down. Wolverine, De Gea. Sav said De Gea without any debate.
Where's the love for Van der Sar, man?
Jim Shady said De Gea. Doug said Schmeichel. George Kyle said Schmeichel. Wolverine said Van der Sar. Oh, so I'm sorry.
Yay.
I'm getting some stuff mixed up here. So it's I originally asked the overall goalkeeping ability. So this is about reflexes. So from here, I've seen reflexes De Gea, Schmeichel for George and Doug. Wolverine said Van der Sar. Football Crusoe, Schmeichel number 1, De Gea number 2. Michael Hubbard said reflexes Van der Sar. Vandy Candy said Van der Sar. Jay Hart said Vander Hall. It's okay, Craig. We still love you, buddy. Sav said De Gea for reflexes, athleticism. Schmeichel was built like a beast, a proper athlete, but he cannot give De Gea. But I cannot not give it to De Gea for this one. Said Jim Shady. George Kyle said Van der Sar moved like he was an old man.
He didn't. He was an old man. He didn't move like an old man, mate. He moved gracefully. He didn't. He wasn't one of those quick ones. He wasn't a quick keeper. No, I'm never going to state that.
Humpback, wow.
No, man. It was graceful.
Yeah, like a humpback, wow.
No, that's not graceful, man. So I'm trying to think of something graceful, but
a dolphin.
To mind. A dolphin, yeah. A dolphin, yeah.
So Jay Hart did say Van der Sar saved more penalties than De Gea, and Davis crap at penalties. Let's see, anybody else? So Ryan Beals did say De Gea for reflexes. So I actually do have to throw in the category of saving penalties because, once again, there's another one where De Gea really isn't great at saving penalties.
No, he's not. In terms of saving penalties, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the stats are, but obviously people look more towards Van der Sar because he saved that penalty.
How many penalties did Van der Sar? How many penalties did Van der Sar save, Mr. Exclusive? Come on. Did you not write that down?
He's getting off now.
Pass. Pass. I didn't write that one down. I didn't actually either. No joke.
So I mean, I do think that a lot of people will look to Van der Sar for making that save against Chelsea. I mean,
against Anelka.
Yeah.
Yep. Final man, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. It was tender hooks. You know, last penalty, United were bricking it. You got to be honest. And Chelsea were thinking that they were going to be on top, but then we just Van der Sar and
Ronaldo fluffed it as usual.
But we can. It's all love for Ronaldo.
So, I see Vince Russo said penalties. In my opinion, none were that good, but Van der Sar probably takes it. Which, in fairness, I mean, penalties is a hard thing. Like, not very many people are great at saving penalties.
It's a gamble. Like, it's a guess, isn't it?
Lee Grant is.
At least you got in there first,
well,
bro.
In fairness, Lee Grant was in a penalty shootout that went to the 11th man, so probably not.
Oh, yeah.
Time
to go.
So, George Carlson, Michael, that save from Bergkamp. That's a good one. That's a good one to mention. Wolverine said Van der Sar for pens. Schmeichel saved from Bergkamp at Villa Park. Edwin for PKs, said Vandy. Luis Suarez, he's great at saving. And Jim Shady did say that Bergkamp saved from Schmeichel won us the treble, essentially. That's a good point. And Ryan, no problem, man. We'll catch you later, dude. Let's see here. I think that's going to be it. So I do have one more category that somebody threw out, which I like, one-on-ones. So when you're 1v1 with the keeper, who is best at 1v1s?
Peter Schmeichel.
Van der Sar.
There's always one.
Or Schmeichel. Can't split the two.
So, for me, it's probably because I know De Gea more, but I'm going to go with De Gea, and here's the reason why. I've watched what he's been doing over the last couple of years with no defense in front of him, and he's had to make a crap ton of 1v1 saves. And there is nobody that I've seen that is as good at staying big for as long as he can as De Gea.
That's what she said.
Ah, true.
I must admit, I like that crap ton. I like that phase. That's a good one.
But like I said, for me, I think De Gea is best at keeping big as long as possible. I don't see very many people do what he does in terms of being able to be as big as you can be for as long as you can be like him. So let's see here. So De Gea 100%. Vandy Candy said Edwin Van der Sar. Doug said Schmeichel. Football Crew Show said Big Peter. George Kyle said Schmeichel, the massive unit. Yes.
My man. That's three.
Is George Kyle broken record at the moment?
Yes, he is. And he's also talking about
Spanish keeper and say Schmeichel.
Okay. Let me ask you this, George. Who is the worst keeper? Are you going to say Schmeichel? Because I mean, if you're a broken record, we got to know. And then let's see here. Michael Hubbard did say that's a difficult one. Vince Russo said, remember his 1v1 save versus Sterling, of course. Wolverine said De Gea. J Hart said, I agree with you, Andrew. So he says De Gea. He made some incredible 1v1 saves in 2014, 2015 too. Yes, he did. Michael Hubbard says, yeah, I'll say De Gea. Jim said he did say all of them. Seriously, I can't pick that one. Although Schmeichel did this thing that he made him massive, was never seen before, really. Saab said, agreed, Andrew. George Kyle did say Schmeichel was the biggest and made save after save. Let's see here. I don't see anybody else. George Kyle did say Kasper Schmeichel for worst keeper. That's unfair, George. That's unfair because he can actually save penalties. So last but not least, we will go to the overall, like, just goalkeeping, putting yourself in the right position. Like this is basically saying, who do you like? You guys all made your arguments. Who is the best goalkeeper that Manchester United have ever had?
Peter Schmeichel.
Are we choosing what we actually want, or are we choosing as our people?
Well,
I just want to clarify that.
I think that we could say that based on the debate that has happened, if you want to change your opinion, you're welcome to change your opinion. But
I want obviously Van der Sar to win, but it's not what I believe is. I don't believe obviously that. I'm just going to be honest.
You know what? I'm not bothered because all three of them to me are world class. You know, sportsmen, legends for the club.
They are.
And I thank them all for their continuing acts, as in De Gea and Peter Schmeichel, thank him, and Van der Sar, thank him. But then, could you class De Gea as being the best, as he's still not won a Champions League for a club?
But I will ask you this: is that really his fault that he's been in worser teams?
No, but what about if he retires? When he retires, and if he doesn't win a Champions League, then right, and we have this debate again.
Yeah, you have to choose Van der Sar, don't you?
Why?
I don't know, because I just want to win.
Can he be put in that category?
He retired at Old Trafford. He retired.
No. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about
De Gea.
De Gea.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
no, I agree with you there. I'm not going to argue. I actually agree with you because if he does go to yours,
if he say
6 more years,
yeah, and then not win nothing, and then goes and still doesn't win nothing, can he be classed as a legend?
I think you're still a legend, but not on the same kind of stature as like Schmeichel, Diggs, Scholes, those kind of people. He's more of a cult hero, if anything. But right now,
I could agree with that.
Hero of the times, isn't he?
Yeah, but they're not a legend. He wouldn't be a legend to me. Like if he chooses to leave in 3 years, he'll be what? How old is he now? 28 coming.
Yeah.
You know, he'll be 31, prime time. Spends, I don't know, the rest of the years in, I don't know, Italy or somewhere, PSG, France, and still doesn't win it.
He might not like United at that point.
Exactly. But you know, is he classed as a legend? Is not yet.
I mean, I think you can make the argument that De Gea is at this point a club legend. Maybe more he's a cult legend than a club legend.
He's not a legend. He's not a legend.
Yes. Matthew, I agree with that. He's a club legend, but in a different context. And it's because
there is no context to that. A club legend he's not a legend. He's not. I'm sorry. Like,
I'd say he's a hero of the times. I'd say he's a hero of the times. I wouldn't say he's a legend yet. I wouldn't. He has to do something more legendary.
Yeah.
Like you got to look at it as Schmeichel's won us the treble. You know, Van der Sar won us the Champions League, won us back-to-back Premier Leagues. You know, so these are legendary statuses within a club.
Yeah.
You know, Van der Sar finished his career at Manchester United. That's a legendary move. You finish your career at the top. You know, Schmeichel, unfortunately, wanted some more money, so he did what he did. But the principle, he did some legendary stuff. But you got to look at it. De Gea right now isn't at all, not saying that he isn't the best, but he hasn't had that opportunity, maybe because of the squad, but that is it. He can't be a legend yet. In my eye, anyway.
And me.
I've got 4 eyes as well, and I've got 4 eyes. I definitely know what I say.
Right. And don't get me wrong, De Gea is doing amazing things.
David De Gea a legend or not? He's not as big as a legend as, you know, Schmeichel and Van der Sar. I think that's something that we can all agree on.
Yeah. He's not a legend.
Listen, this is where I disagree. I actually do think that David De Gea is a legend, and here's the reason why. He has been the only player in our squad for the last 6 years that has even mattered in any way, shape, or form. He's the only guy that has basically gained us points during a season, and he has had to work more with less than any other of the keepers have. He is, at this point, a legend of the club for what he has done to this point. In order to overtake, maybe in terms of legendary status, overtake Van der Sar and overtake Schmeichel, he'll need to win more.
Yeah,
but I will say that at this point, he is a club legend, however.
Here's a question. Is Sean Gota considered a Man City legend?
I don't know. I don't give a shit about Man City, if I'm totally honest. I don't really.
It probably is. It probably is.
You know, I think.
Well, actually,
Silva,
okay.
David
He's
Silva.
Aguero. Is Aguero a legend? But he's not a legend yet. He's not finished his career with City. Like it's still ongoing.
He's their number 1 top goal scorer.
He's a hero.
Won Premier Leagues with them. He's won Premier Leagues with them. You know, I think
when he is 100%.
Well, and so I actually really like what Danny Ogden just said here. So you mean to tell me that if Van der Sar and Schmeichel were playing in this team, they would not be legends because they didn't win? He's like, that's a good point. Like if you were to reverse the roles, put De Gea, that's where I think that you can make the argument.
We can argue this all day long, but the way we're looking at it now is David De Gea is the best player on that squad by far, best keeper in the world by far. Yeah, but until we become that team again, where we win in titles and we win the Champions League. If we win the Champions League, then we class him as a legend.
Do you think De Gea himself sits there and thinks that he's not the best? He probably sits there and goes, "Yeah, I am the best, but I still want to win things," and that's what's going to make me a higher person in that cult figure. But like in the sense of being a hero, he is definitely a hero. Like he's doing everything to save our asses, but you know, you've got to be the best by winning. Like, I'm sorry, but yeah, if Van der Sar or Schmeichel was in this position now, they wouldn't be legends because they hadn't won back-to-backs. They haven't won trebles. They've not gone and done the business.
Because
They're businessmen.
The team isn't as good as back then.
Nah, it's not.
That's it. Like, the team we've got now is millions of miles behind what Van der Sar played with, what Schmeichel played with. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think that at this point, I think that he is a legend, but he's not overtaking the legendary status that a Schmeichel or a Van der Sar. That's all I'm saying is I think that at this point, he's a legend, but not overtaking the legendary status that those two have.
If he can win, if Manchester United could win a Champions League, and a Premier League and do a double and continue to play at that higher level that we're progressing to, then maybe so. Maybe he can become a legend. Maybe his stature can change. Mr. Exclusive's gone. Oh, there he is.
Listen, Danny, don't talk about Tim Howard like that, okay? Tim Howard is the Great Wall, okay? Tim Howard is a legend, just not for Manchester United.
You've got to look at what a legend is. A legend is something that's written in folklore, like something that's written in the ages. And he hasn't written everything in ages. He's had one. No. He's had one Premier League. He's had a Europa League.
Cup.
You know, they're not.
But he's also.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Manchester United.
No, we're not stating that he's not a great player. We're not saying anything like that. But you have to get a cult status, to get a legendary status, you got to have done something to have gained that. He's done some legendary stuff on that pitch. He is better than any player that we've got, because probably is including Pogba, because Pogba is important, but that man saved us a lot in this time, his time. It's just a hard thing to call him a legend when it's ongoing. It's still waiting. He's writing himself in history.
A legend. What is the word? It is earned
and ended. It's ended. That's how he's a legend, isn't it?
It's earned. It's, and I think Van der Sar's earned that. I think Schmeichel, not just because I've got him in this debate.
No, it's true.
He earned that. He run his back four. He run that team. And the era that he played in, he was the best at what he was. Do you know what I mean? And he won everything. Until you can win everything, until your team wins it back to back, all the time, consistent, then you become a legend.
I like Jake. So Jake, he said Fabian Barthez was the best for me.
What? I forgot about him.
I like Barthez at the time, but he was rash, very rash guy, man. Remember when he put his hand up to Di Canio? Went, yeah, hi mate, and he just shot in the back of the net, trying to pretend he was offside. Like what? You mad?
So we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up here, guys. I do want to shout out Vince Russo's comment here. He did say that take Schmeichel out of United squad in his time, they'd be okay. Take Van der Sar out of the United squad in his time, they'd be okay. But you take De Gea out of the United squad right now, and they would not be okay.
What's that tell y'all?
Could be in the championship.
We didn't win anything for a while when it came to when we didn't get someone between Schmeichel and Van der Sar. Went through so many keepers. We weren't doing the greatest. I think what did Bosnick win? Was it Bosnick that won?
Mark Bosnic.
Yeah, was he the only one that won a premiership of those keep? Oh no, and Barthez, sorry, yeah. But it was just rash, and obviously we didn't want him. Fergie got rid of him because of his rashness. You know, you got to look at it that way.
So
and got rid of Massimo Taibbi.
This up. I mean, it did seem like for the most part that I didn't see anybody necessarily vote for De Gea as the best overall goalkeeper.
We've got to finish it on Twitter, don't we? Just got to finish on Twitter. Find the actual denominating.
The ultimate thing will be the public vote of taking it to Twitter. I will be sure to shout out the video first and then put the poll beneath it. But we have to see who is Manchester United's greatest ever keeper. I can tell you now, I think you could genuinely make an argument for all three. I think you all made fantastic arguments for each person. But guys, we'll let you guys get to your day, get the rest of your evenings. So, Craig, as always, thank you for joining me, sir. Anything you want to shout out, man?
Peter Schmeichel's the best. I'm a joke. I told you I love all three of the keepers. I think they're all amazing. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. It's a pleasure to come onto the show, Andrew. You're doing great things. Mr. Exclusive, thank you very much. And thank you very much, Matthew.
So, Mr. Exclusive, anything you want to shout out, my friend?
I just want to say thank you again for having me on. It was a pleasure. arguing for the facts. Van der Sar, you want to be voting for on the public Twitter poll. But yeah, again, thank you to Craig and thank you for Matt, obviously, for being competition. And yeah, I hope everyone's having a great day or evening wherever they are.
Yes, sir. And then last but not least, Matthew, I know you're going to shout out your posters, but I mean, I actually think that your poster's sitting outside right now. That's what Arthur was barking at.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, we've got another Matthew Fadian poster, but this one isn't for me. It's for my brother. So, late Christmas gift.
Is it a Liverpool one?
It is a Liverpool one.
Yeah.
I got it for my brother. I got it for my brother. I know.
You're gonna give it. You have to hold it with tongs.
I'm just gonna hand him the full package. I'm not even gonna bother.
Don't touch it. Don't even look at it.
Don't even
burn your eyes.
It's like Medusa. You'll turn to stone.
But guys, Matthew actually has genuinely been killing it with his posters. You all need to order one.
That's great quality.
You know, I'm pretty sure everybody in this chat has got one. I've got two.
I had two. I've actually got none, but I bought two for gifts, and both of them love them.
My one's above my bed.
Ooh.
I might be getting a Solskjaer one soon.
So, Matthew, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, if you want to get yourself a David De Gea poster, then
come here.
I've not got Edwin van der Sar, so I think that wins it.
I mean,
you need Van der Sar. What the hell? Back to back, bro.
We did.
Van der Sar, you know, whatever.
We definitely did get Arthur in
Matt.
We had to make sure to get Arthur to say hi and bye to the people. This is
Hi, Arthur.
Hi, Arthur.
I mean, this is his negotiated, appearance for the day. So, guys, the dog is taking over, Vince Russo. The dog is definitely taking over. Come on, Bubs. We got to get you off the table for a little bit. Thank you. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure to shout this out. I think all of my guests made fantastic arguments for each of their keepers. Be sure to drop a like of it on the video on your way out. And genuinely, guys, to everybody that joined us today, thank you so much for joining us. I know that everybody here appreciates it. I hope that you guys have a great night, a great day, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. Keep doing you guys, because I love you and you guys are awesome. Let's go, United.